America's pastime is, was, and always will be shooting.
Hi everyone, Finn and Flask here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to disassemble and clean a Colt cap and ball revolver. Pretty much all Colt cap and ball revolvers are very similar. I think the earliest Pedersen ones are very different, but when you're talking about your Colt Walker, Dragoon, pocket model, 1860 Army, 51 Navy, and the other ones are all pretty much the same. And today I'm going to be using a 60 Army to show you how to do it. Okay, so what I'm going to do though is, most people who try to show you how to do these things, they try to show you how to do it when you already have all the stuff. And basically when you're a beginner, you kind of need different things to do it properly, but you don't always have the stuff. So you probably just want to get out there and shoot, but you need to clean it. So I'm going to show you how to clean this nice and easy with the least amount of materials that you can have. There are many ways to do this, but I'm going for a very basic look on how to get it for an extreme beginner. Okay, so some things that you really should have are a nipple wrench and screwdrivers that are ground like this. So you get that nice roundness, so it goes in nice and tight, because these Italian screws are really kind of crappy. But if you want to do it more professionally, you should get jags. Jags are better to use because they actually fit the cylinder perfectly and stuff. But on some of the older revolvers, the cylinders are stepped on the inside, which makes using jags more difficult. Before we get into the meat of the video, if you wish to support the channel, you should check out my eBay store where I sell muzzle loading accessories. It'll be linked in the description. Alright, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take the wedge out and take the barrel off. You can whack it, the wedge will come out, and then you take your barrel, put it aside, take this cylinder right here, still got a couple caps on it from the other day. They're all smashed up though. Okay, so then the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the back strap. Unscrew this. And these right here. And what I would do if I was you is I would keep them together right here. Keep all these together so you don't get the screws mixed up. Okay, so then I'm gonna pop a little tension off the mainspring. Take this. Maybe not today. And just take this right off. Keep the screw with it. Okay. Unscrew the bottom of the frame. I try to work them so that they are relatively even, so you don't mar them when they come out. Okay, so now you undo the trigger spring. Then these two screws right here, I pretty much take them out at the same time. So you can see all the debris on it. Trigger comes out, bolt comes out. Okay, and now I take the hammer out. Slide the hammer. You can leave this in or not, it doesn't really matter. And that's pretty much it, completely stripped. Now, I highly recommend taking the cones or nipples, whatever you want to call them, out to clean. But you can get away with not removing them if you don't have a nipple wrench when you're starting. But it's one of those pretty much necessary things. So I'm gonna continue popping all that out. So for ease of reassembly, I have everything kind of grouped together. I have the grip with the back strap and the screws together. I have this part right here. I think that's probably the frame, if you want to call it the frame. I think these are both the frame. Kept the screws with that. See, I left these two screws in because these are just basically for the shoulder stock. I have the mainspring screw, the bolt with the bolt screw, the trigger with the trigger screw, the trigger spring. I just have this sitting there. I have the nipple sitting right here with the cylinder. So let's move on. Okay, so I put everything in water to start. I have everything in water, but just to soften everything up, and I'm using a bore brush to get all that stuff out. Everybody, I would think, who's ever shot has some of these. Then I do each of the cylinders with it, just to break everything up. Run water through each of them so I get all that junk out of there. You see with the barrel. Here's the frame. So, I mean, you can take this off if you want. I generally don't. You can clean it pretty well. You just unscrew that and slide everything out. But you give it a cursory drying. Now, I'm going to go in here and clean the barrel. So I just use this loop and I'm running it through. See, you get a little bit of brown left on it, which generally isn't too bad. See, just a little brown. It's all right. Now, I'm gonna clean the cylinders. And I just use this to clean the cylinders. And I go in and out of each cylinder with just a little bit of paper towel. Go in there and clean them all until they come out about the same. So I got the cylinder dried out, the inside of the cylinder, so I'm just gonna wipe around here. Like around the eyes. And now dry out the inside of the frame. It can be a little gnarly inside of here, inside of that slot. See how it got black on me? So you'd really want to do the hand slot, clean all this out. Now you need to protect everything because you've cleaned all the oils out. So I'll just take a little bit of lubricant. My lubricant of choice is Ballistol. It's a little strong, but I go around the inside of the cylinders and I cover everything with it so that it's nice and protected. Ballistol is some pretty harsh smelling stuff, but I get the inside of the threads and then I take a little dab, just a tiny dab, and I cover the outside of the cylinder so it's nice and protected. I'm going to do that to the frame. Just a little bit of oil on it is generally pretty good. And I can take this, lubricate inside of here, so it's all protected. Inside the hand slot. Now, I just run a little down the bore, protect everything. Then I wipe everything down. Protect all the metal. It's a little strong. I use pure Ballistol. I know a lot of people put 50-50 on there, but I don't know. I have a little bit of a hard time trusting that it's still not going to rust out on me. So now that I'm here, I just put them all in a bowl and I just give it a little rub down. You can do it with a toothbrush, anything like that. Just keep everything clean. So I go over every part. You use a toothbrush. I just don't feel like taking out a toothbrush right now, so I'm using this. The water neutralizes the black powder. See, it just gets absolutely everywhere. It's an entire pistol. So, let me see. But the water neutralizes it and makes it start breaking down, which is really kind of convenient. So I'm going to do a little more detail work on that. With the nipples, I generally just scrub them. I take some of my Ballistol, get a little on a rag, and then I'm gonna pop it on a little bit of everything. Okay? Get a little bit on everything. I'm just gonna go through everything and do it. Okay, so now I'm gonna start the reassembly. So, put the hand on the hammer and then line that right up in there. Slide the hammer right up. Okay. Then you gotta pop the hammer screw in. I just put everything together and mixed them up because I'm very comfortable with what parts go where. But if you're not so comfortable with it, make sure you do everything kind of separately so you can keep track of where all the screws go. So you go there, then you take the bolt, put the bolt in here, so it lines up with that little slot. See where the bolt goes right there, it lines in. Then pop the trigger in. Oh, it's going upside down. You get these screws, line them up, seat them in. Then you get the trigger spring. Okay, there we go. We take this, pop it right here. I like to try to get them mostly in and then kind of tighten them down like you tighten down a tire, so you get nice even, so everything kind of seats where it really truly belongs. Okay, this right here. There you go. Seems to work. Okay. Slide the hand, this on. Get them started a little bit. Set them. All right, the grip is back together. Now, time to put the nipples in. So the nipples have a little bit of lube on here and in here. I see some people put like choke tube lube on there, and like I saw Cap and Ball does copper paste. I just put regular lubricant on it. I take the nipples off every time I shoot it, so I'd be a little shocked if they actually get stuck. But I'm gonna put all the cones back on, and then we're gonna put it together. Okay, so all the nipples are back on. Pop it on. Line this up. I just pop the wedge back in. And she's in there. Function check. Seems to work pretty good to me. Well, I hope you liked my very basic way of doing this. It's just so that people can get out there and shoot, okay? There are many ways to clean these weapons, and there's as many ways as possible. It's just an idea on how to do it. Thank you very much for watching.